Happy Thursday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I am Anthony Totri, joined as always by Leah Merrill. Leah Merrill's here. Everybody else has abandoned me, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Shawn is working hard for the D-backs right now, and then we do have some news as it relates to Shane Diefenbach that we are going to get into here in a little bit. It is all good news, so no need to worry. But chat, it is just going to be me and Leah today, so definitely chime in with any questions or any comments that you have as it relates to Arizona State and obviously Oklahoma State as well. We got a jam-packed show for you today. We're going to be doing a little bit of our Pac-12 power rankings because week 1 and week 0 as it relates to college football is in the book, so we do have some movement there. We're also going to get into our trending up segment, a couple players that you guys can anticipate having some big games for Arizona State on Saturday against Oklahoma State. But we are going to start things off with 5 reasons that Arizona State is going to upset the Oklahoma State Cowboys in Tempe. Before we do that, going to tell you guys a little bit about Shane and why Big Pokey is not with us on the show right now. And Big Pokey's last show for the foreseeable future as a part of PHNX Sun Devils was yesterday. So Shane is still with PHNX. He's going to just be doing some awesome content on the side for the next few months. And yeah, he's just not going to be on the show, I guess, for the next couple of months. Leah, I mean, obviously, Shane, Big Pokey, he's not with us right now.
He's not. I just dropped him off at the airport. And that's all I'm going to say about that. It's a surprise. It's a secret. And it's really, really cool stuff. So just get ready because ALLCITY is on the rise.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But in the meantime, guys, we are still going to be doing a bunch of great coverage here at PHNX_Sun Devils. But let's go ahead and get into 5 reasons why Arizona State is going to upset Oklahoma State on Saturday at Mountain America Stadium. Starting off with reason number 1, guys, Arizona State is going to get a full game of linebacker Will Schaefer and a full game with Elijhah Badger plugged into that Arizona State offense. We got just a taste of what Elijhah Badger is capable of doing with Jaden Rashada. We saw what he was capable of doing in terms of special teams, providing a spark for the Sun Devils, and it was huge down the stretch. I think that is only going to really increase the production of what Jaden Rashada and this ASU offense can do. It's going to be fun to get not only a full game from Elijhah Badger, but a full game from Badger, Xavier Guillory, Jalen Conyers, Cameron Scattaboo. You're going to really get to see what this ASU offense is capable of, and I think it's going to be exciting stuff. Will, in the chat, you were by yourself and didn't ask me to fill in. Wow, Will, I am so sorry. I am so
feel free to chime in with
everybody.
All your comments because we all know I might not be the expert on ASU football, so we need the chat to be co-host today.
Let's see what the chat has for us today, guys. But yeah, offensively, Elijhah Badger, it's going to be huge for the Sun Devil offense to get a full game out of him. And then defensively, Will Schaefer, right? We saw just how good Trey Brown was in the box for Arizona State's defense. And I think you bring in a guy like Will Schaefer. We saw what he was capable of in the second half, and we've seen what he has been capable of really from the spring to the fall in Camp T. This is a guy who makes his living in terms of stuffing opposing run games, and I think Will Schaefer is in for a big game as well. So I think that is definitely going to help the Sun Devils achieve that upset on Saturday. Reason number 2, guys, Oklahoma State is planning on playing 3 quarterbacks. I don't know about you, but anytime an opposing team decides that they're going to roll out 3 quarterbacks, it usually means that none of the 3 are good enough by themselves to be the true starter. I think Arizona State takes care of business on that reason alone. Now, we touched on it a little bit during yesterday's show that we do think that at any point, if Mike Gundy feels like the Oklahoma State offense is rolling and they're in some sort of a rhythm, that we do anticipate him rolling with either one of the 3 quarterbacks he has. That would be Gunnar Gundy, Alan Bowman, and then Garrett Rangel as well. So we'll see, obviously, what transpires there with that trio of quarterbacks, but it's got to make Sun Devil Nation feel a little bit better knowing that Oklahoma State doesn't have a true number 1 at quarterback like ASU does in Jaden Rashada. Well, in the chat, ASU will win because 1, ASU hasn't lost a non-conference blackout game, and 2, no Big 12 team has beaten ASU at Sun Devil Stadium. There you go. I don't even know why I need to do the rest of the show or the rest of the reasons. Will has it by himself right there. Eric in the chat, favorite combis are the black on black. We're going to show up looking good, feeling good, and will play balls to the wall. Bet. Absolutely love to hear it, guys. And number 3, I think why Arizona State is going to upset those Cowboys on Saturday is because the Arizona State defensive line is simply better than the Oklahoma State offensive line. On paper, it looks like Oklahoma State has a great front five, and it's because they've got a lot of experience. This is a unit. The youngest guy is a redshirt junior. It does sound like they are going to be without their starting right guard for the second straight game, which we know will definitely play a role in what ASU is trying to do. But when you look at that offensive line for Oklahoma State, they weren't really able to get a whole lot going for them for at least 3 quarters against Central Arkansas. And then you look on the opposite side when you get to Arizona State, that defensive line is only getting better. We could see freshman defensive tackle CJ Fight get some run in this game. This is a guy that's been an absolute monster for ASU in practice, specifically in the spring. He looks like he's gotten even bigger here in the fall, so he is definitely hungry to get out there. And then we know what BJ Green is capable of. We're going to get a full game out of Clayton Smith. So let's be real here, guys. In terms of the edge rushing presence that ASU has with guys like BJ Green, Clayton Smith, and then you get into the interior of that defensive line with Michael Matus, CJ Fight, Garen Stansberry. There is a lot to be excited about when you look at ASU's front 7. And I'm going to be real. I like their chances against Oklahoma State's front 5. I just think they're better. They're not as big, but size doesn't always translate to being the best in the trenches. And I think you guys are going to see that on Saturday. Number 4, knock on wood, there's not going to be a goddamn weather delay.
Totri, if this post-game show starts the day after the game for the second week in a row, I will lose my mind.
I'll lose my mind too, because it's supposed to be sunny. It's supposed to be sunny, and I don't know how there would be a weather delay.
Unless it's like a heat advisory or something. God.
Yeah, that would be pretty terrible if there was a weather delay because it was just simply too hot. Tweeted out the other day, it is supposed to be 107 degrees at kickoff, which would tie the record at Mountain America Stadium dating back to 2000. The record, though, was set, I want to say, in 2013 when ASU beat Sacramento State 55-0. Will bringing up the depth chart. Fight is listed as injured on that official Week 2 depth chart. That is correct, but he was back at practice. So we'll see, obviously, what transpires. Whether he is back this game or moving forward, CJ Fight is going to be an important part of this ASU defense. Not only now, but he is a freshman. So moving forward for years to come, CJ Fight is definitely going to be a problem for opposing offenses. But yeah, getting back to that weather delay, looking at what ASU did in the first half against Southern Utah, right? This is a team that was up 21-7, was on pace to go out there and score 42 points. And Jaden Rashada looked good in that first half. The ASU offense in general looked good. And I think that weather delay, I know Southern Utah, it played a part for them as well. But at the end of the day, Coach said it himself. He got the team maybe a little too overhyped. I think this is a game that ASU can settle into. And when you don't have to wait 2.5 hours because of rain, lightning, and wind and dust, I think they're going to be okay. Nobody's going to be doing their biology homework at halftime like they did last week. And I think that is going to translate into ASU being successful. And the last reason, at least of the 5, that I think Arizona State is going to come out on top against Oklahoma State on Saturday is because I simply think they are further along than what Mike Gundy has building with the Cowboys. This is not an Oklahoma State team like those teams in the past, right? Where it is built on consistency, where it's built on veteran leadership year after year. This is a team that is still trying to work out the kinks of a new defensive coordinator, work out the kinks of trying to figure out that starting quarterback situation. A team in Oklahoma State that has been pretty awful as it relates to running the football, and they don't look like they're going to get much better than they were last season. So Arizona State, I know there were some wrinkles in that second half, but when you just take a look at what the team was able to accomplish early on, Jaden Rashada, the offense, This is a guy that was 12 of 16, I want to say, completed 75% of his passes, threw for $182 and 2 touchdowns in the first half. You put that together for 2 halves, watch out. I think Arizona State will come out on top against Oklahoma State if you get even a glimpse of what Jaden Rashada can do for a full game. Not to mention some of the other reasons we brought up, right? You get Elijhah Badger for a full game. Xavier Guillory, he put the nation on notice with a big outing against Southern Utah. And then Jalen Conyers, who we only saw for a half, is expected to play on Saturday as well. And then defensively, I think they're further along as well there too, with guys like Ro Torrance, Jordan Clark, BJ Green, Trey Brown. They've got a lot of guys that they just seem more comfortable in this system than watching Oklahoma State. They didn't look comfortable against Central Arkansas. So I do think Arizona State does come out on top for that reason, along with the other 4 that I brought up. Guys, do want to let everybody know that you can still get tickets to this game, and you can get them dirt cheap. I know there were people out there on social media talking about how expensive these tickets were, that some were going for like $225. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need to spend $225 to go to the game on Saturday. They're actually a lot cheaper over at Game Time. Guys, I'm looking at tickets right now at $9. $9 to go watch a future conference opponent in Oklahoma State get upset by Arizona State at Mountain America Stadium. It's a blackout. Definitely go check it out, guys. And like I said, get your tickets at Game Time. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. Snag the tickets without the stress and do it with Game Time, guys. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And going to sporting events is always a little bit more fun when you have something to win, or I guess if you just got a little stake in the game, guys. And if you're going to do that, do it with BetMGM. Place your first BetMGM sportsbook wager through BetMGM sportsbook mobile application of at least $10, and you guys are going to receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Guys, download the BetMGM sportsbook app on iOS or Android, or visit BetMGM.com and sign up with code PHNX. Sign up and deposit at least $10 into your newly created account, and then place a wager in the amount of at least $10 at standard odds price, a qualifying bet. Once you have placed a qualifying bet, you will receive $200 in bonus bets, again, regardless of the outcome of your wager, guys. And look, I know college football is a lot of fun to bet on, but guess what? The NFL is back. I cannot believe we have finally made it to the day where we get NFL football. It's Chiefs, it's Lions. I think the Chiefs are only favored by 4.5 points, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do you a solid. I'm going to go ahead and give you my BetMGM parlay picks right here. Okay, it's beautiful, and it's beautiful because it's going to hit. Okay, so this is what I've got for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm taking Chiefs money line, Ravens money line, Eagles money line, Bills money line, Chargers money line. They're all locks. They're all locks. Okay, and I'm telling you right now, it's plus 613, $10, going to pay out a sweet
fun.
61. I like it. You might as well go big, go bold, or go home.
Can I give mine?
Let's hear it.
Okay, well, mine's one of the pre-built ones on BetMGM, which I appreciate because I am not a good decision maker, especially with sports betting. So I like that BetMGM does this. So right now for tonight's game, and this one you would know the results like after tonight instead of yours. You have to wait till
the
Monday.
Weekend's over.
So this one it's pre-built. It's for plus 260. Chiefs money line over 53.5 points for the game, and then Patrick Mahomes 3 or more passing touchdowns thrown.
I love it.
So. That if you're looking for gratification tonight, there's that. But for the weekend, Totri's is great. Yeah. You can do both. And I have a bonus bet right now just because it's the NFL. Like BetMGM was like,
just throwing money.
NFL's back. Here's bonus bet. They do that all the time. That's why I love it.
Guys, sign up for BetMGM and make sure you use that bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $10, and you guys are going to receive, like we said, $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Guys, check the show notes for more details. And now listen to Big Pokey talk about this disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
Couple comments I do want to get to in the chat, starting with Eric. The depth chart list Tristan Monday is 6'3", 310. Is that too heavy for him? I think I'd like to see him play around 285, 290. Yeah, this is a guy in Tristan Monday that I think there is so much potential for him to be a staple along this Arizona State defense. I agree with you, Eric. I think a better playing weight for him would be around that 285, 290 mark. If he can keep some of that strength going. I think just from a conditioning standpoint, 310 is a little bit heavy for him, but we'll see, obviously, as the season goes along where he likes to play. And then, let's see, we've got Charles in the chat. Got to limit the penalties, but I like seeing the old school form. That style travels well and opens the play action up for Jaden Rashada. No, absolutely. Kenny talked about it really all week that he wants his team to limit the penalties moving forward because, look, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot, especially when you have a young gun at quarterback like Jaden Rashada. You want to set himself, you want to set him up for success right now, and then obviously for the future as well. And that, this is a team in Arizona State and a program that has been one of the most penalized teams really in the nation over the last couple of years with Herm Edwards at the helm. So you definitely got to limit those penalties, and you establish the run game, and then you really do open up that play action for Jaden Rashada. And if you do that, then I think it is definitely going to be a great outcome for ASU. Gonna continue with Eric's comment here. What's the over-under on Rashada throwing for at least 300 this week? This was my bold prediction. I said yesterday, I think Jaden Rashada goes for over 300 passing yards. I think he turns in a hell of a performance. And I think, he's got some haters after that second half against Southern Utah. I think there's people that think that first half was a little bit of a fluke and the second half is who you're going to get. I'm here to tell you that's not the case. This is a kid in Jaden Rashada that we know has a cannon of an arm. He's a student of the game, and he's got, a full offense of weapons now with Elijhah Badger, Xavier Guillory, Jalen Conyers. So we're going to see what he's capable of doing, but I do like him going over 300 passing yards. And again, part of the reason I like him going for over 300 is because he's got EK back. And that brings us right into trending up, guys. We've got 3 players for you, just like last week, that I think are going to go ahead and have themselves some big games on Saturday. I want to go ahead and start with Elijhah Badger, guys. Elijhah Badger is an absolute dog. This is a guy that has really worked himself into that number 1 wide receiver spot, dating back to obviously when Ricky Pearsall was here a while back. Last fall camp, it was kind of, we're going to wait and see just how good EK can be. And then at points last season, you saw just how talented Elijhah Badger was. And if you've never watched an ASU football game prior to Southern Utah, you saw what he was capable every time he touched the ball. This is a guy that can make people miss. This is a guy that is a yak machine, a yards after catch. And not to mention, this is a guy that you're going to see on special teams returning kicks, whether you like it or not. He provides electricity to a team that is going to thrive on guys making plays when they need to the most, right? And EK, similar to Jalen Conyers, he's going to be that go-to target for Jaden Rashada most of the season. This is a kid that I think has NFL aspirations, and he's got something to prove, right? Last week, second half, ASU didn't do great offensively. That doesn't mean that he doesn't want to come out and have one hell of a game against Oklahoma State. And I think that's one of the guys that's in for a big game on Saturday. Another one on the defensive side of the ball, I'm going with Roe Torrance. We talked yesterday about Deshaun Stribling, a guy for Oklahoma State's offense who is a big dude, right? Reminds me, like I said yesterday, a little bit of a Malcolm Floyd type. He's a possession receiver, maybe even a little of Vincent Jackson in him. These are guys that they're your jump ball targets. What better defender to have a big game than a 6'3", number 1 corner in Roe Torrance that does have NFL aspirations, that is trying to prove that he is one of the best lockdown cornerbacks, not only in the conference, but in the nation, guys. I think Roe Torrance is due as well. And look, we talk a lot about these guys defensively kind of fitting in this system. Ro Torrence is a guy that you can comfortably put in man coverage on the opposing team's number one, and he can shut him down. He could put him on an island. Ro Torrence is going to be that guy on Saturday. And to round things out, I've got DeCarlos Brooks as the third guy due for a big game. We saw what he did last week, a little bit of a thunder and lightning aspect in that ASU backfield with DeCarlos and then Scadaboo. I think DeCarlos does provide this ASU offense with a change of pace, and it's a change of pace that I think is really going to help this team really elevate the offense. I think he provides a little bit something extra out of the backfield for Jaden Rashada than maybe Scadaboo. I knew Scadaboo, he does have great hands, but DeCarlos has that speed that I think could really torch some of these Oklahoma State defenders, especially in the screen game, right? When you're playing a defense like Oklahoma State where they have the three high and then they've got the three men along the defensive line, that three-man front. I think early on in the game, you want to get those defenders moving horizontally, right? You want to tire out those big 300-pound defensive tackles. And how do you do that? You get them with some bubble screens. You get them with your running back out of the backfield. That's where I see DeCarlos Brooks having his biggest impact in this week's game. We saw what he was able to do at fullback, and I think that was a lot of fun. And I'm just going to tell you right now, we've seen some stuff at practice. So DeCarlos Brooks, he may have himself one hell of a game, and it may not come in the way that some people think. So definitely keep your eye on DeCarlos Brooks, Ro Torrence, and then, of course, Elijhah Badger this weekend when Arizona State takes on Oklahoma State, because all of which are going to provide a lot of fun for Arizona State. Guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our friends over at Circle K, okay? It's America's Thirst Shop. They've got a new free membership program. Guys, what's better than something that's new and free? I can't think of it. Nothing off the top of my head. Not to mention, Circle K has phenomenal deals when it comes to energy drinks, when it comes to snacks, when it comes to gas. They have it all over at Circle K, guys. And with that new free membership program, you guys can save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Get every 6th free on a selection of Circle K products, whether that be pizza, coffee, ice-cold fountain drinks, or anything else, guys. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. And we've already talked about how hot it is going to be at Arizona State when they take on the Cowboys on Saturday. And I know kickoff's at 7 o'clock, but if you're a real ASU fan, then we know you're going to be out there much earlier than 7, tailgating that big game. And when you're out there and you're barbecuing and you're drinking, make sure you got your Shady Rays. That way you can keep the sun out of your eyes, guys. Wouldn't want you guys getting blinded by the sun out there, guys. And you can shop the entire collection at their brand new location, Kierland Commons, a full-stop shop for all things Shady Rays. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. And listen up, because I have a phenomenal offer, okay? Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Eric in the chat, I think D Ford and Chris Edmonds will both have good games as well. I'm really interested to see D Ford out there, because just taking a look at the size of some of these players offensively for Oklahoma State, they're bigger. I mean, even Brendan Presley, who is a guy that, really is their do-it-all weapon on offense in the slot. He's still, I want to say 5'9", 5'10", which is about the same size as D Ford, but you compare him to some of the other guys that Oklahoma State has on the outside. I mean, we brought up Deshaun Stribling, right? Like, he's outmatched in terms of size. So you're going to have to really stick to these guys like glue if you're going to do anything about it. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and get to our Pac-12 power rankings for the day. There's some movement. There's some movement in my Pac-12 power rankings, guys. But USC stays atop the conference at number 1. I mean, look, they're the only team in the conference that's 2-0. Not to mention they've got Caleb Williams at the helm with Lincoln Riley. It is going to be it's going to be tough for them to really fall too far in these power rankings. And again, they're 2-0. It's hard to find an excuse to move them any lower than number 1. I do have movement with Oregon, though. I've got Oregon moving up a spot. I know Utah won, but Oregon dropped 81 points. Think about that for a second. There are basketball teams that don't even score 81 points, and they did it without their starting quarterback playing more than a half. They had like 5 rushing touchdowns in that game, and there were question marks all offseason about what that offense would look like because guess what? Their offensive coordinator, Kenny Dillingham from last year, he just so happens to be chilling in Tempe with the Sun Devils. So I was wildly impressed with what Oregon put out there. That's why I have them at number 2. I do have, as a consequence to that, I have Utah falling from 2 to 3. I know they beat Florida. They did it without their starting quarterback, which I think is impressive. But at the end of the day, I still think that team has a little bit of a ways to go, and I'm curious to see what Cam Rising looks like after this injury. If he is anywhere close to what he has been in the past, then I think Utah certainly should be and will be a contender when it comes to the Pac-12. Moving on from that list, I've got Oregon State at 4. They're staying put. I really like what I saw from DJ Uiagalelei and the Beavers. I know it wasn't a crazy fast start for them, but they did get the job done. And again, I think this is a team in Oregon State that has the potential to go out there and really shock some people all year long. At 5, I've still got the Washington Huskies. There's no movement for them there. This is a team that I know there's a lot of people really, really high on, and rightfully so, because you look at a guy in Michael Penix Jr. and just how talented he is. This is a guy in Michael Penix Jr. that threw for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns. That is ridiculous, guys, in their win 56-19 over Boise State. So that's why I've got them at 5. I was a little bit more impressed with DJ Uiagalelei, just, again, being a transfer quarterback, coming and playing for the Beavers. So there could be movement in that top 5 pretty regularly. Moving to number 6. Yeah.
Totri, I feel like this is your first admission
This hurts.
This is insane. I can't believe this is happening right now.
I know, and thankfully it's happening when I don't have a co-host right now.
Yeah, just me.
Yeah, so I'm not getting absolutely berated.
Oh, look,
no,
Shane
has
just
spawned.
popped up in the
Shane
chat.
spawned in the chat. I've got Colorado at 6, and this one hurts. This one hurts a lot because they are moving up 4 spots. Look, I said it the other day. I was impressed. I was impressed with Shedeur Sanders. I was impressed with Travis Hunter. My question is, was it them being good, or was TCU's defense really all that bad? At the end of the day, we're going to see what they're capable of doing against Nebraska. I know that is a game that is, I want to say Colorado is now favored by 3 points. It's going to be a big game. It is going to be a big game, but they definitely deserve their ranking in the AP top 25, and they deserve to move up in these power rankings. But I can't move them any higher than 6 as of right now. Let's see what we got over at number 7. That's right, the Arizona Wildcats. They're staying put at 7. They got the job done against little brother NAU. I don't think there was really any doubts from start to finish in that game. I know they got their revenge from a couple years back, so good for them there. At number 8, I've got Arizona State. Sun Devils falling 2 spots. It was a close win. It was a 3-point victory over Southern Utah, and any way you slice it, I don't care how good they looked in that first half. They needed to move back based off of just how good the rest of the conference looked. So a win is a win. You got the job done, and they certainly have a ways to go, but they can definitely move up those power rankings with a big win over Oklahoma State this weekend. So yeah, I've got ASU at 8. Coming in at number 9, I've got Wazoo. Again, we know that this is a conference in the Pac-12 that went undefeated. That's an impressive thing in and of itself. But when you look at Washington State, they beat up on Colorado State 50-24. I know Cam Ward is a quarterback there. This is a guy that I think when everybody is talking about the conference and people are talking about the crazy quarterbacks, right? Whether that be Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Cam Rising, DJ, Michael Penix, he goes on and on. Cam Ward kind of gets lost in that conversation, but this is a kid that I think a lot of people need to show a little bit more respect for. And this is a team that I think can be a definite sleeper team going through the rest of the season when it comes to these Pac-12 power rankings. Moving on, I've got UCLA sitting at number 10. They dropped 2 spots. I know this is a team in the Bruins that did get a win over Coastal Carolina, 27-13. But that's why they fall 2 spots, guys. Coastal Carolina isn't anybody. They're nobody.
That sounds like you made that up.
You should see
Coastal Carolina?
Coastal Carolina. I don't even know what their mascot is. I can't even really describe what that is. I think it's a bird of some kind.
I'm looking it up.
27-13. Yeah. 27-13 over the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
What is that?
No idea.
There's 10,000 students at this school.
That is crazy to me. Dante Moore did start, it looks like, for UCLA. It looks like Dante Moore.
It's kind of a fun
started.
Mascot.
It is. I do like the colors on the mascot. I like that it's teal. I really fuck with it.
But is that just like an angry rooster?
Coastal Carolina, the Angry Roosters. That's exactly what it is.
Everyone Google Coastal Carolina mascot and tell me what you think that is.
But yeah, Dante Moore, I'm curious to see what he's able to do throughout the rest of the season. He's obviously, he was a highly touted high school recruit. I believe he was originally committed to Oregon. Then Kenny opted to go to ASU. Dante reopened his commitment or his recruiting and then ended up at UCLA. So we'll see what UCLA could do this season. At number 10, this is where, all right, number 10, I've got UCLA, 11-12. Shane, I'm sorry. I know you loved what Cal put on the field this past weekend, but I can't move them up. I can't do it. I know they dropped the 50 burger, but at the end of the day, they didn't play anybody. We'll see what they can do through the rest of the season. They have a chance to impress me. It's not like they go out there every week trying to find a new way to impress Totri, but we'll see. And Stanford, same thing. Again, I know this conference is undefeated and it's impressive, but at a certain point, when everybody wins, you can't move everybody up. That's not the way that it works. So there were some teams that won and they still fell regardless. Will in the chat, Coastal Carolina, America's team. I don't know if I'd go that far, Will. I don't know if I would say that they are America's team, but I can tell you that Four Peaks is America's beer. Guys, be sure to follow them on social at Four Peaks Brew and at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest on Arizona's premier craft brewery. Not to mention, guys, it's almost here. We've entered the best months of the year, September, October, November, December. You know, the best part about all of these months is that there's pie. You could eat pie for all these months. And one of my favorite pies, pumpkin pie, they got this little thing over at Four Peaks called pumpkin porter. Guys, it's going to help you get in the fall state of mind with notes of nutmeg, allspice, and toasted pie crust. It's back on the shelves and in draft lines throughout the valley. So definitely go get yourself a Four Peaks pumpkin porter, and make sure, again, visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite brewery tours and events. Stein Holding, Oktoberfest, and Haunted Brewery tours are right around the corner. Check out at Four Peaks Brew, at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You do got to be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. Guys, before I move on, do Bobby Hurley a solid. Hit that like button. There's 31 of you in here. Only 10 likes. Do us a favor. This is me, like Bobby, just begging and pleading for a little bit of a like. Okay? We appreciate you guys, and we appreciate you here, not only on the PHNX Sun Devil show, but the D-backs, the Coyotes, the Cardinals, all of the shows we have here, guys. And do us a solid. Maybe head over, become a diehard. Do that. You guys are going to get exclusive discounts from select partners on pretty much everything. Not to mention, you're going to get a free shirt every year when you become a diehard. Like, I don't know what to tell you. The merch is amazing.
It pays for itself.
It does. The content, and you guys just missed out on a great deal, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't go become a diehard today. And make sure you reserve your tickets for free to our PHNX Cardinals away game watch parties. Join us every away game at the BetMGM Sportsbook at State Farm Stadium for ticket raffles, prize giveaways, and more. Guys, there's a link in the show notes. Definitely come chill with us in the PHNX Cardinals crew over at the BetMGM Sportsbook at State Farm Stadium. It's going to be a blast. Come say hi. There's going to be food, drink offers, ticket giveaways, special prizes, and then, of course, some PHNX Cardinals live shows. So make sure you get out there to State Farm Stadium. Leah, anything else as it relates to ASU, or I guess the Coastal Carolina mascot?
I don't know. Coastal Carolina, maybe they'll be my new favorite college football team. But for real, Totri, I'm not kidding. This game better go as planned. It better go on time. And I have to say, first of all, I can't believe it's already Thursday. It's been a week.
Yeah.
That was the longest day of my life. I was at the office for 17 hours. That is not an exaggeration. the first half, I was like, this is a great pace.
Yeah,
like,
it was moving.
This is flying by. We're going to get out of here by midnight. And no. So this game better go by in the blink of an eye.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. Like we said, crossing our fingers for no weird weather delay that we don't see coming yet. Regardless, we are going to be live tomorrow at 2 p.m. to give predictions, hot or not, and really any final thoughts on this matchup before we get to Saturday. And I will have a co-host for that show and moving forward. So definitely tap in tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then I know it's still a little bit of a ways away, but we will have a post-game show for the ASU Oklahoma State game. We did have 75 plus people stay up late with us and watch that show at like 2 a.m.
So 1:13 a.m. was when I hit go live, and I did confirm that's the latest start time of any PHNX show of all time.
Let's go.
So hopefully that record is set for a while. We'll leave that there. But hit the notification bell now on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel so you never miss when we go live, because you never know what time we're going live. But I will be back behind the Mac on Saturday night. Should be a good one.
Absolutely, guys. Stay locked in. You can give us a follow over at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You could follow Mr. Shane Deef himself at Shane Deef on a Winnebago as always. And we will be right back here 2 p.m. on Friday. But for now, guys, peace.